Reports indicated that despite their primitive technology, the humans were mounting an effective resistance. 3 Zendari attack ships had been destroyed just yesterday by a small squadron of Earth fighters. Commander Shala approached with caution. "My queen, we have identified the human who leads their most successful squadron." Viera turned her silver eyes glinting in the starlight. "Who dares defy us?" "A human female called Olivia Bennett, Commander. Shyla said she has destroyed 7 of our ships and rallied their forces when their command structure was broken." Viera felt a strange sensation at hearing the name. It echoed in her mind like a forgotten melody. "Olivia Bennett," she whispered. "Bring me everything you can find about this human," the Queen ordered. "I wish to understand what makes her different from the others we have conquered. Cross the void on the lunar defense base." Olivia Bennett climbed wearily from her fighter ship, her dark hair damp with sweat and her eyes reflecting the exhaustion of someone who had seen too much death. "Good work out there," Captain Mary Peterson said, clapping Olivia on the shoulder. 3 alien ships down, and no casualties on our side. That's a miracle." Olivia nodded but took no joy in the victory. "We can't keep this up forever, Mary. Their technology is still far beyond ours. We're just buying time." The 2 women walked through the corridor of the base, which had been carved into the lunar surface as Earth burned under the alien assault. The facility had become humanity's last major military stronghold in the command center. Admiral Helen Rhodes waited for their report. The older woman had been thrust into leadership after the fall of Earth Central Command, her face bearing the lines of impossible decisions. "Captain Bennett," Admiral Rhodes acknowledged, "we watched the engagement. Your tactics were unconventional but effective." Olivia stood at attention. "We used the mineral deposits in Sector 4 to mask our approach. The alien sensors can't penetrate certain rock formations," clever Rhodes said, "but I suspect they'll adapt quickly." The aliens seemed to learn from each encounter, evolving their strategies faster than any enemy humanity had faced. "That's why we need to try something different." "Olivia," said her voice steady, "despite her exhaustion, we're not going to win this through conventional warfare." Rhodes raised an eyebrow. "What are you suggesting? Captain, a scouting mission?" Olivia replied. "I want to get close enough to their command ship to gather intelligence on their systems, their weaknesses, their command structure. We need to know our enemy." The Admiral frowned at suicide. Maybe Olivia admitted. "But if we keep fighting the way we are, we lose anyway. At least this gives us a chance." After a long moment, Rhodes nodded. "Prepare your plan, Captain. You have 48 hours back on the Zendari command ship." Queen Viera reviewed the files her intelligence officers had compiled on Olivia Bennett, 32, Earth years old, born in a place called Colorado, decorated pilot and tactical officer, orphaned. During the initial Zendari attack on Earth, Viera watched video footage of the human in battle. Observing how she moved her fighter craft with unusual precision, the Queen had led conquests across the stars and recognized something in this human that troubled her. Olivia Bennett fought not with the desperation of someone afraid to die, but with the calculation of someone who understood sacrifice. Commander Shala interrupted the Queen's thoughts. "The human forces are changing their patterns, my Queen. They appear to be preparing something unusual." Viera narrowed her eyes. "They are adaptable, these humans. What do you suspect? Desperate attack, perhaps," Shala suggested, "or an attempt to breach our defenses with a small craft. Our outer sensors detected unusual movement near the debris field." "Show me," Viera commanded. The display showed a small human vessel moving through the floating wreckage of previous battles. It appeared to be using the debris as cover, slowly making its way toward the Zendari fleet. "Interesting," Viera said. "That craft is too small to cause significant damage. What are they planning? Track it, but do not destroy it." The Queen ordered. "I wish to see what this Olivia Bennett will do." Commander Shala's eyes widened. "How did you know it was her?" Viera smiled. "It could only be her. She has the courage the others lack." Olivia navigated her small stealth craft through the field of destroyed ships. Her modified vessel had been coated with materials that absorbed sensor scans rather than reflecting them. It was not perfect, but combined with the interference from the debris field, it allowed her to approach the alien fleet undetected. Beside her, Sandra Reyes operated the specialized scanning equipment. They had one chance to get close enough to gather detailed information on the alien command ship before escaping back to lunar base. How are we looking? Sandra asked, keeping her voice low, despite being in deep space as if the aliens might somehow hear them. Olivia checked her instruments were still undetected. The modifications are working, but the aliens are running active scans. Keep the power levels minimal. They continued their approach, each moment bringing them closer to the massive alien command ship, its size dwarfing anything humans had ever constructed in space. The vessel stretched nearly 5 kilometers from end to end, shaped like a crescent moon with glowing blue energy pulsing through visible conduits along its hull. Inside the alien ship, Viera watched the approach of the small craft with growing admiration. The human was either very brave or very foolish. Perhaps both qualities the Queen secretly respected. They seek knowledge, Viera said. To Shala, not destruction. Should we capture them? Shala asked. Not yet, Viera replied. Let them approach, let them see us, let them think they have succeeded. Then we will take them. Olivia felt a chill as they passed into the shadow of the enormous alien vessel. They were close enough now that if the aliens detected them, there would be no escape. The stealth craft had sacrificed weapons and defenses for its sensor-dampening technology. Activate the deep scanners. Sandra whispered, her fingers moving. Across the control panel, the specialized equipment began mapping the alien vessel, recording energy signatures, structural details, and communication frequencies. Olivia kept the craft steady, maintaining their position in a blind spot they had identified. In the alien sensor network, we're getting good data. Sandra reported, excitement creeping into her voice. Power signatures, shield frequencies, possibly even their command protocols. Suddenly the craft shuddered as a beam of blue light enveloped them. The controls went dead, and Olivia felt her stomach drop as the small vessel began to move without power being pulled toward the alien ship. They've got us in some kind of tractor beam, Olivia said, activating the emergency protocols. Destroy the data. Sandra initiated the data purge but shook her head too late. I already transmitted the first data package back to base. They got something at least. Olivia nodded grimly. Then we succeeded. Partial mission success. Now we just need to worry about what happens to us. The small craft was drawn into a massive bay in the side of the alien vessel, the doors closing behind them with ominous finality. Olivia and Sandra prepared for the worst, checking their sidearms, though both women knew the weapons would be useless against advanced alien technology. When the hatch opened, they were greeted by a contingent of alien warriors, tall, silver-skinned females with eyes that seemed to shift color in the light. They wore armor that appeared to flow like liquid metal, while maintaining rigid protection. Come, the lead alien said in perfect English. You will meet our queen. Olivia and Sandra were escorted through corridors of impossible geometry. The ship seemed larger on the inside than its already massive exterior suggested, with pathways that curved and shifted in ways that defied human architectural understanding. Finally, they were brought to a vast chamber where a single figure stood looking out at the stars through a viewport that showed Earth. Hanging in the distance, Olivia felt her breath catch as the figure turned. Queen Viera was both terrifying and beautiful, standing nearly 7 feet tall with silver skin that seemed to shimmer with subtle iridescence. Her eyes were the most striking, feature shifting from silver to violet as she moved her gaze between the two humans. So Olivia Bennett Viera said, her voice melodic. Despite the underlying power, you have caused my fleet considerable trouble. Olivia stood tall. Despite her fear, you invaded our world. What did you expect? Surrender. A smile curved the alien queen's lips. Most species do surrender. They see our power and accept their fate. Your kind fights beyond reason, beyond hope. Why? Because it's our home. Olivia said simply, and freedom is worth fighting for, even against impossible odds. Viera approached, studying Olivia with curious intensity. I have conquered 17 worlds, Captain Bennett. None have resisted like Earth. None have produced warriors with your skill, your determination. I find myself curious. The Queen circled the humans like a predator. What were you hoping to achieve with your little spy mission? Information? Olivia replied honestly. Advantage understanding. Viera laughed, a sound like crystal chimes. Intelligence, honesty, and courage. You continue to surprise me, human. I believe you and I have much to discuss. Sandra looked at Olivia with confusion. but Olivia maintained eye contact with the alien queen, understanding somehow that this moment represented something unprecedented, a conversation rather than execution. Take the other human to secure quarters. Vera commanded her guards, but treat her well. She turned to Olivia. You will remain here, Captain Bennett. I wish to learn more about the one who has caused my empire such difficulty, as Sandra was led away. Olivia faced the alien queen alone, uncertain if this was the end or perhaps the beginning of something entirely unexpected. Now, let me create part 2. Olivia stood before Queen Viera, aware that her life hung in the balance yet unwilling to show fear. The alien queen moved with fluid grace as she circled the human, studying her with those strange color-shifting eyes. You are smaller than I expected. Viera said, her voice carrying an almost musical quality. Yet you have destroyed 7 of my ships and disrupted my conquest. How have you accomplished this? Olivia met the queen's gaze. We understand sacrifice and we know our planet better than you do. We use what advantages we have. Viera gestured to a raised platform in the center of the chamber, and it transformed into something resembling seats. She motioned for Olivia to sit while she took the opposite position. Tell me about Earth. The queen said, it is not the most resource-rich world we have encountered, nor the most strategically valuable. Yet my advisors insisted it must be conquered. Why do you think? Was this a test? Olivia wondered. She chose honesty. I don't know why you targeted us, but I know why we're worth saving. The queen tilted her head. Continue. Humans are contradictory. Olivia explained. We fight and destroy, but we also create and preserve. We can be selfish and cruel, but also selfless and kind. Maybe what makes Earth valuable isn't its resources, but its people, and the potential we represent. Viera watched Olivia with an unreadable expression. Fascinating. You speak of your species as if it has value beyond its utility. Most conquered races plead for survival based on what they can offer their conquerors. Olivia straightened. If you're looking for me to beg for humanity's usefulness to the Zendari Empire, you'll be waiting a long time. We deserve to exist because we exist, not because we're useful to you. A small smile curved Viera's lips. I have studied your history, Captain Bennett. Your people have waged war on each other for millennia, over resources, territory, belief systems. How is your resistance to us any different from how you treat each other? A fair question, Olivia admitted, but an incomplete one. Yes, we've fought each other, but we've also created art, composed music, written poetry, built societies based on cooperation and mutual respect. Even in our worst moments, there are those who stand for compassion and justice. She leaned forward. Those are the parts of humanity worth preserving, and that's what we're fighting for, not just survival, but the chance to keep becoming better than we were. Viera was silent for a long moment, her eyes shifting from silver to deep purple. You are not what I expected, Captain Bennett. Before Olivia could respond, a chime sounded and Commander Shyla entered the chamber. My queen, we have decoded the transmission sent from the human vessel before capture. They were mapping our command systems and shield frequencies. Viera's expression hardened as she turned back to Olivia. You came to gather intelligence for an attack. Olivia didn't deny it. We came to find a way to survive your invasion. Yes, Excellence, the queen commanded Shyla, then turned back to Olivia. Our conversation must wait. I must consult with my commanders. Prepare accommodations for the human but maintain security. As Olivia was led away, she caught a final glimpse of Queen Viera, her expression thoughtful, almost troubled, back at Lunar Base. Admiral Rhodes reviewed the data package received from Olivia's mission. This is remarkable, Sandra Reyes explained after her return. Through a prisoner exchange, their shield frequencies cycle in a predictable pattern. If we time our attacks precisely, there might be millisecond vulnerabilities. Can we exploit this? Rhodes asked. Chief Engineer Kim nodded. There's a chance if we modify our main cannons to match the frequency pattern and fire at precisely the right moment. It might penetrate their shields. It's a small window, but it's more than we had before. Rhodes considered the information. Prepare the modifications. We may only get one chance at this. Olivia is still aboard their command ship. Everyone in the room fell silent, the unspoken reality hanging between them. Any attack might kill one of their best officers. We have to assume Captain Bennett understood the risks, Kim said gently. The mission comes first. She would say the same. Hodes nodded heavily. Begin preparations. Aboard the Zendari command ship, Olivia was escorted to quarters that were surprisingly comfortable, though clearly designed for alien physiology. The bed was too large, the ceiling too high, but efforts had been made to adjust the environment to human needs. She was contemplating her situation when the door opened and Queen Viera entered alone without her guards. The Queen studied Olivia for a moment. My commanders believe I should execute you immediately as an example to your people. Olivia stood tall. I expected nothing less. I find myself reluctant. Viera admitted. You interest me, human. I have conquered many worlds and encountered many species, but none quite like you as that. Why Earth was targeted, Olivia asked, our uniqueness. Viera moved further into the room. No, Earth was chosen because our scouts detected unusual energy signatures emanating from your planet, energy that resembles our own core technology. This should be impossible as your civilization has not advanced to that level. Olivia frowned. I don't understand. The Queen gestured and a holographic display appeared, showing a map of Earth with several points highlighted. These locations emit energy that matches Zendari quantum signatures. It suggests technology far beyond current human capabilities. That can't be right, Olivia said. We've never encountered your species before this invasion. Unless you have, Viera countered, her eyes intent on Olivia's reaction. Perhaps not your generation, but sometime in your planet's past. Something of ours was left behind or hidden there. Olivia tried to process this revelation. Are you saying that the real reason for the invasion is to recover this technology? The Queen nodded partly, and to determine how humans acquired it. Our archaeologists believe there may have been contact between our species thousands of years ago, yet it was erased from both our histories. Why, Olivia shook her head. This is beyond anything I know, but if true, it means this war is based on a misunderstanding. We aren't hiding your technology. Most of humanity doesn't even believe in alien life, or didn't before your ships appeared. Viera studied Olivia carefully. I believe you, but that creates a greater mystery. What is creating these energy signatures if not Zendari technology in human hands? And why do they match our quantum patterns? So precisely, Olivia thought of the ancient sites on Earth, the pyramids, Stonehenge, others that had puzzled archaeologists for centuries. If aliens had visited in the distant past, it would explain much. But that didn't explain the energy readings. Viera moved closer. I have a proposal, Captain Bennett. One that my commanders would consider treason, but one that might save both our people. Olivia tensed. What kind of proposal? A joint investigation, the Queen said. You will help me discover the truth about these energy signatures and the possible connection between our species. In return, I will halt the invasion temporarily. Why would you trust me? Olivia asked. Viera smiled. I don't, not completely, but I believe you want to save your people and I want answers. We have aligned interests for the moment, and if we find these energy sources, Olivia pressed. What then? The Queen seemed to choose her words carefully. That would depend on what we discover. But I give you my word that if humans are not deliberately using stolen Zendari technology, I will reconsider the invasion. Olivia considered her options. This might be a trick, but it also might be humanity's best chance. Why involve me personally? You have proven yourself clever, resourceful, and honorable in battle. Viera explained. And you have knowledge of Earth that I lack most. Importantly, you have nothing to lose. The invasion continues unless we find answers. I would need to contact my people, Olivia said. Let them know I'm alive, and what we're doing. Viera nodded. That can be arranged with limitations you may tell them of our investigation, but not of the specific energy signatures we seek. That remains between us for now. Olivia took a deep breath. I agree to help on one condition. The alien Queen's eyebrows raised. You are in no position to make conditions human. Nevertheless, I have one, Olivia said firmly. Sandra Reyes returns to Earth and the bombing of civilian targets stops immediately. Those are my terms. Viera studied Olivia, her expression unreadable. You care more for your people than yourself? Interesting, very well. I accept your terms. The other human has already been returned in a prisoner exchange, and I will order my fleet to target only military installations. Olivia nodded. Then we have an agreement. I will help you investigate these energy signatures. Excellent. Viera said. We depart for Earth in 6 hours. Prepare yourself, Captain Bennett. Our journey may change everything. Both our peoples believe about their histories. After the Queen left, Olivia sat heavily on the oversized bed, trying to process what had happened. She had come aboard the alien ship expecting torture or execution. Instead, she found herself partnered with the enemy Queen on a mission that might save Earth or doom it entirely. When she was permitted to send a brief message to Lunar Base, Olivia chose her words carefully, alive and unharmed. Temporary ceasefire negotiated to investigate possible ancient connection between our civilizations. Standby for updates. Bennett out. At Lunar Base, Admiral Rhodes read the message with mixed emotions: relief that Olivia was alive, confusion about the mentioned ceasefire, and suspicion about the aliens' true motives. Chief Engineer Kim looked troubled. You don't think she's been compromised? Dr. Rhodes shook her head. Olivia Bennett would die before betraying Earth, but she might take desperate measures to protect it. We proceed with modifications to the weapons, but hold the attack for now. Let's see what comes of this unexpected development. Aboard the command ship, Vieira met with her senior commanders, their disapproval evident as she explained her decision. This is unprecedented. Commander Shala protested, working with a primitive species investigating theories of ancient contact, when we should be completing our conquest. The Queen fixed Shala with a stern gaze. I have led the Zendari Empire to 17 victories. I have earned the right to investigate anomalies before proceeding with conquest if there is a connection between our peoples. It could change our understanding of Zendari history. We follow your command, my Queen, Shala said reluctantly. But not all will understand this decision. They do not need to understand. Vieira replied, they need only obey. Prepare my personal scout ship. For atmospheric entry, we leave for Earth's surface in 6 hours. The human Olivia Bennett will accompany us. As the commanders departed, Vieira stood alone at the viewport, staring at the blue planet below. Something about this human and her world had affected the Queen in unexpected ways for the first time in her long reign. Vieira questioned the path of conquest that had defined Zendari. Expansion, somewhere on that planet, were answers. Answers that might reveal why she felt such strange recognition when she heard the name Olivia Bennett, and why Earth called to her in ways no other world ever had. Now I'll create. Part 3. The sleek Zendari scout ship descended through Earth's atmosphere, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to human detection systems. Olivia sat in the co-pilot seat, watching as Queen Vieira personally guided the vessel toward their first destination. The landing site was remote, a clearing in the dense forests of South America, near ancient ruins that the Queen had identified as one of the energy signature locations. When the ship touched down, Vieira activated additional camouflage systems that would hide the vessel, even from direct observation, then turned to Olivia. We proceed on foot from here. The energy readings are strongest. 2 kilometers east, Olivia nodded, stepping out into the humid air of the rainforest. It felt surreal to be back on Earth, accompanied by the alien Queen who had ordered its invasion just days earlier. 2 Zendari guards followed them, carrying scanning equipment and weapons. The jungle was thick with vegetation. Slowing their progress, Olivia noted how Vieira seemed unbothered by the heat, her silver skin appearing to regulate temperature automatically. The Queen moved with natural grace over fallen logs and through dense undergrowth, her tall form navigating the terrain effortlessly. Do your people have forests like this, Olivia? Asked, breaking the silence. Vieira glanced at her. The Zendari homeworld once did, thousands of years ago, before the great industrial expansion. Now we have preserved zones, but nothing so wild, so untamed as this. She gestured to the chaotic growth around them. Your planet has a primal beauty. My world has lost something, in the Queen's tone suggested regret. Olivia realized this might be the first time Vieira had set foot on a planet with such abundant natural life in its original state. The scanner in one guard's hand began emitting a soft pulsing sound. We approach the energy source, my Queen, the guard reported. Vieira nodded. Soon we came upon a clearing where ancient stone structures stood, partially reclaimed by jungle vines covering carved symbols that were neither fully human nor alien in design. The Queen approached one wall, running her fingers over the symbols. These are similar to early Zendari script, but modified as if adapted for a different purpose. Olivia studied the carvings. They look somewhat like Mayan or Incan writing, but not quite. Our archaeologists have never fully deciphered these. Vieira activated a handheld device that projected light onto the wall, revealing hidden patterns invisible to the naked eye. There is information, here recorded at quantum level. She explained technology far beyond what humans possessed when these structures were built. What does it say? Olivia asked. The Queen frowned. It appears to be a warning. Though parts are degraded with time, it speaks of guardians from the stars who came to protect something called the Nexus. Olivia repeated. What is that? Vieira shook her head. I do not know. This word has no direct translation in Zendari language. The closest would be convergence point or connection between realms. The guard with the scanner approached my queen. We have located the source of the energy signature beneath the central structure. Vieira nodded. Begin excavation. Use minimal disruption protocols. The guards deployed small hovering devices that emitted focused energy beams, carefully cutting through stone and earth without damaging the surrounding structure. Olivia watched with mixed emotions. These ruins were priceless human heritage, yet they might contain answers that could save her world. Tell me truth. The Zendari invasion was always about finding these sites, wasn't it? Vieira met her gaze. Yes, though. Not for the reasons you might think. The High Council believed humans had discovered and were exploiting ancient Zendari technology. Left on Earth, I was sent to reclaim it and eliminate any threat your species might pose if you had weaponized our ancestral science. And now, Olivia asked, now I am less certain. Vieira admitted these structures, the writings, they suggest something more complex than simple technology transfer between our species. There is mention of a threat these guardians were protecting against, something that endangered both Zendari and humans. The excavation continued for hours, revealing a chamber beneath the ruins untouched for thousands of years. Its walls covered in more of the strange hybrid writing when they entered. Olivia gasped at the sight of a crystalline structure in the center of the room, pulsing with blue energy, the same color as the Zendari ship's power systems. Vieira approached it cautiously, her expression one of wonder. This is not Zendari technology, though it bears similarities. It is something else, something older. One guard scanned the crystal. This energy signature matches our quantum cores, but its configuration is different, more complex. Our scientists would need to study this. The Queen circled the crystal, then stopped suddenly when she noticed something on the far wall. Where is that light coming from? Olivia followed her gaze to where a thin beam of sunlight had penetrated the chamber, illuminating a small section of wall. Vieira approached and examined it closely. There is a map. Here, the Queen said. It shows 7 locations across your planet, each marked with this same symbol. She pointed to a spiral design with 3-point. Olivia recognized some of the locations from human history. Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid, the Easter Island statues, locations that had puzzled archaeologists for centuries with their advanced engineering and astronomical alignments. These are all ancient sites, Olivia said. Places with mysteries our scientists have never fully explained. Vieira nodded. This confirms my suspicion. These sites form a network connected by these energy sources. But for what purpose? Before Olivia could respond, one of the guards called out, My Queen. Something is happening. The crystal in the center of the room had begun pulsing more rapidly, its blue glow intensifying. Vieira quickly moved away from the wall, drawing Olivia with her stand back. The Queen ordered as the crystal projected a holographic image into the center of the chamber. The hologram showed a humanoid figure tall like the Zendari, but with features that seemed to combine characteristics of both species. It spoke in a language Olivia didn't understand, but Vieira gasped in recognition. Ancient Zendari, the Queen whispered. But with differences, this dialect hasn't been spoken in 15,000 years. The figure continued its message. Vieira, listening intently, her expression growing more troubled with each passing moment. When the hologram finally faded, the Queen stood in silence for several moments. What did it say? Olivia finally asked. Vieira turned to her. The message was a warning from the past. The Guardian called himself Zendis Prime. He spoke of a threat from beyond known space, a species that feeds on worlds, draining them of life and energy. They were called the Devourers. So Olivia frowned, and these Guardians were protecting Earth from them. Yes and no, Vieira explained. According to the message, Earth is special. A nexus world where the barriers between dimensions are naturally thin. The Guardians didn't just protect your planet. They used it as a base to protect multiple worlds, including Zendari Prime. My homeworld, the Queen continued, they created this network of sites as both monitoring stations and defense outposts, using Earth as the center point because of its unique properties. But that was thousands of years ago. Olivia said, why would these energy signatures suddenly activate? Now Vera met her eyes with a grave expression. Because according to the warning, the Devourers return in cycles, and if the energy signatures are activating now, it means they are returning. Olivia finished, a chill running through her. The Queen nodded. We need to visit the other sites to gather more information. But if this is true, it explains much about our shared history and changes everything about our current conflict. One of the guards spoke, my Queen. If this information reaches the High Council, they will order immediate evacuation of Zendari forces from this sector. Vera fixed the guard with a stern gaze, which is why this information remains among us for now until we confirm its validity. We continue our investigation. Captain Bennett and I will proceed to the next location. You two will return to the command ship and maintain normal operations. The guards hesitated but bowed in acknowledgement. As you command, my Queen. When they were alone, Olivia studied Vera carefully. You didn't tell them everything, did you? The Queen smiled slightly. You are perceptive, human. No, I did not. The message also contained information about how our species are connected according to Zendis Prime. The Zendari were not always as we appear. Now, what do you mean? Olivia asked. Vera gestured to her silver skin. Our ancestors were more like you before they underwent genetic modification to survive on worlds with harsher conditions and to extend lifespans. Some stayed behind, choosing to remain in their original form. Are you saying? Olivia began, then stopped the implication. Too startling to voice. Vieira confirmed those who stayed behind eventually became what you now call humans. We are distant cousins. Captain Bennett separated by time, evolution and choice. Olivia sat heavily on a fallen stone, trying to process this revelation. It's hard to believe. Vieira nodded. I understand this is difficult to accept, but it explains the unusual connection I felt to your species from the first moment I saw Earth. It felt like returning to something forgotten. It explains why I hesitated to destroy your world completely. If this is true, Olivia said, looking up at the Queen, then the invasion was a terrible mistake. Vieira finished. Based on incomplete information and ancient prejudices, the modified Zendari always considered those who remained behind as lesser, choosing comfort over advancement. But now I see that both paths had value. She helped Olivia to her feet. We must continue our investigation. The other sites will contain more information about the Devourers and possibly how to defend against them if they truly are returning. We will need all the knowledge of the Guardians and the cooperation of both our people. Olivia nodded, still processing the revelation that humans and Zendari shared a common ancestry. How do we get to the next site? Vera smiled. The scout ship can reach the location in Egypt within hours. We should hurry. The energy signatures appear to be growing stronger, which suggests time may be limited. As they made their way back through the jungle, Olivia considered the implications of everything she had learned. The war between Earth and the Zendari Empire might soon be overshadowed by a much greater threat, and humanity's best hope for survival might be alliance with their attackers. The lunar base Admiral Rhodes received a coded transmission from Olivia, confirming her safety and providing cryptic information about ancient sites and a possible threat greater than the Zendari invasion. Have we detected any unusual activity at the listed locations? Rhodes asked her intelligence officer. The officer nodded. Satellite imagery shows unexplained energy readings at 3 of the 7 sites, including increased activity near the Great Pyramid and Stonehenge within the last 24 hours, Rhodes frowned. What about the Zendari Fleet Chief Engineer Kim reported? They appear to be maintaining positions. No new attacks have been launched since the ceasefire, but no withdrawals either. They're waiting for something or someone, Rhodes said quietly. Prepare a stealth team. I want eyes on the ground at the Egypt location. If Captain Bennett is there, I want to know what she's doing with the alien queen and whether this ceasefire is genuine or just buying time for something worse. The sun set over the Amazon rainforest. The Zendari scout ship rose silently into the darkening sky, carrying Olivia and Queen Viera toward the next location in their unexpected joint mission. Neither fully trusting the other, yet both understanding that their fates and the fates of their peoples might now be intertwined against a common enemy from beyond the stars. Now for part 4. The Great Pyramid stood silhouetted against the night sky, its ancient shape familiar yet somehow more imposing, as Olivia and Queen Viera approached under cover of darkness. The Zendari scout ship had landed several kilometers away. Concealed beneath its cloaking field, Egyptian authorities had cordoned off the Giza Plateau after reports of unusual phenomena. Tourists and locals alike had witnessed strange lights emanating from the pyramid over the past week. This location has the strongest energy signature of all 7 sites, Viera said, consulting her handheld scanner, nearly twice the output of the South American site. Olivia nodded, keeping low as they moved past a military checkpoint, taking advantage of Zendari stealth technology that bent light around them, rendering them nearly invisible. Do you think the Devourers are targeting this site specifically? Possibly, Viera replied. Or it could be responding to their approach. Either way, we need to access the chamber beneath the pyramid according to the map. We found the primary control node should be there. They reached the base of the Great Pyramid, where Viera produced a small device that projected energy patterns onto the ancient stones, revealing hidden markings similar to those they had found in the jungle. Ruins, these symbols will guide us to the entrance, she explained, not the tourist passages but the true way in. Olivia studied the markings. No wonder our archaeologists never found this. It's not visible without your technology. The Queen smiled slightly. Your scientists have done remarkably well with limited tools. But yes, there are aspects of these structures designed to be accessed only with specific knowledge and equipment. Following the revealed path, they discovered a narrow opening near the base of the pyramid, concealed behind what appeared to be solid stone. Viera manipulated her device and the stone shifted, revealing a passage that sloped downward beneath the monument. The air inside was surprisingly fresh, not stale as would be expected. In a sealed ancient chamber, the walls were lined with the same hybrid writing they had seen in South America, illuminated by a faint blue glow that seemed to emanate from the stone itself. As they descended deeper, Olivia noticed the temperature, dropping, not getting colder but stabilizing at a perfect comfort level. These passages are environmentally controlled, she realized even after thousands of years. Viera nodded. The Guardian technology is remarkable, self-sustaining and adaptive. It draws energy from the planet's core and converts it to usable power. The passage eventually opened into a large chamber directly beneath the center of the pyramid. Unlike the tourist areas above, this room was pristine, untouched by time or human interference. At its center stood a larger version of the crystal they had found in the jungle, this one pulsing with intense blue energy. Surrounding the crystal were 7 pedestals arranged in a circle, each bearing symbols representing the 7 sites around the world. This is a control hub, Viera said, approaching the central crystal with reverence. The network is coordinated from here. Olivia examined the pedestals, each showing holographic projections of its corresponding site. Stonehenge, Easter Island, the others all glowing with varying intensities of blue energy. They seem to be active. Viera nodded. The Guardian system is awakening, responding to something. The question is, what exactly has triggered it? After thousands of years of dormancy, before Olivia could respond, the crystal flared brightly, projecting another holographic figure similar to the one they had seen in the jungle, but larger, more detailed. The Guardian spoke again in ancient Zendari, while Viera listened intently. When the message ended, the Queen turned to Olivia, her expression grave. The system has detected multiple dimensional fractures forming in near-Earth space. The barriers between realities are weakening. The Devourers? Olivia asked. Viera nodded. They exist between dimensions and use these fractures to enter our reality. The Guardian network was designed to strengthen the barriers, and if necessary, repel incursions. Can it still function? After all this time, Olivia asked, looking at the ancient technology surrounding them. Queen gestured to the glowing crystal. It appears operational, but not at full capacity. The message indicated that the network requires activation at all 7 sites simultaneously. a safeguard to prevent misuse. Olivia frowned. So we need to visit each location and do what exactly? Vira approached one of the pedestals, studying its controls. The Guardians left activation protocols, specific sequences that must be initiated at each site, but they can only be activated by those with the genetic key, Olivia repeated. What does that mean? The Queen turned to her. According to the message, the Guardians encoded their technology to respond only to the combined genetic patterns of both unmodified and modified descendants, their bloodlines. Olivia stared at Vera as understanding dawned. You mean? Yes, Vera confirmed. The system requires both human and Zendari to activate it. Our shared ancestry is the key. That is why neither of our civilizations could operate this technology alone. Even if we discovered it, it requires cooperation between our species. A sound from the passage interrupted them. Footsteps approaching. Olivia tensed, reaching for her sidearm. But Vieira raised a hand. Wait, 6 figures emerged into the chamber. Human soldiers, in stealth gear, weapons raised. Admiral Rhodes at their center. Captain Bennett. The Admiral said, her weapon trained on Vieira. Stand away from the alien. Olivia moved quickly, placing herself between Rhodes and the Queen Admiral. Wait, this isn't what you think. The Zendari aren't our primary enemy anymore. Rhodes' expression remained hard. I received your cryptic message, Bennett, but I'm going to need more than that to trust the species that was bombing our cities a week ago. Olivia gestured to the chamber around them. Look at this place. These structures were built by an advanced species thousands of years ago to protect Earth and other worlds from an interdimensional threat. Vera spoke, her voice calm. I understand your suspicion, Admiral, but your officer speaks truth. The Zendari invasion was based on a misunderstanding. We believed humans had discovered and were weaponizing ancient technology. Left on your world, Rhodes didn't lower her weapon. Then why continue the invasion when you found nothing? We detected energy signatures identical to our core technology, Vieira explained. We assumed human interference. But now we know these systems are activating, automatically responding to dimensional fractures that signal the return of a common enemy. One of Rhodes' soldiers checked a scanner confirmation. Admiral, we're detecting massive energy surges throughout this structure, unlike anything we've recorded. Rhodes studied Vira, then Olivia, her expression softening slightly. Very well, Captain. Explain everything, and it better be convincing. For the next hour, Olivia and Vera detailed their discoveries: the Guardian Network, the shared ancestry of humans and Zendari, and the looming threat of the Devourers. Rhodes listened, asking occasional sharp questions, her tactical mind processing the strategic implications. If what you're saying is true, Rhodes said finally, this changes everything, but I need proof. Vieira approached the central crystal. Perhaps this will suffice. She placed her hand on one side of the crystal, then motioned for Olivia to do the same on the opposite side. When both touched it simultaneously, the crystal flared brilliantly, projecting a complete holographic map of Earth with all 7 sites connected by lines of energy. A voice spoke, this time in multiple languages, including modern English. Guardian Network partially activated, genetic verification confirmed, awaiting full network synchronization to enable defensive protocols. Rhodes stared at the hologram, her skepticism visibly weakening. How do we know these Devourers are real, that this isn't some elaborate deception? If an answer, the entire chamber shuddered. The holographic map, showing a rippling distortion appearing in Earth's upper atmosphere. The crystal pulsed with warning signals. Dimensional fracture detected. The voice announced incursion imminent, defensive capabilities at 28% insufficient for containment. Vera turned to Rhodes. Admiral, your planet is about to experience first contact with something far worse than the Zendari. My fleet in orbit has already detected the disturbance. Rhodes holstered her weapon. What do you propose? We need to activate the remaining sites, Vera said quickly, and we need to do it together. Humans and Zendari working as one. The Guardian technology cannot be operated by either species alone. The Admiral nodded to Olivia. Take whatever personnel and resources you need. Bennett, I want regular updates, and if this turns out to be a trick, she fixed Vieira with a hard stare. I'll personally ensure the Zendari Empire regrets it. Vieira bowed slightly. I would expect nothing less, Admiral, as Rhodes and her team departed to coordinate with military commands worldwide. Vieira turned to Olivia. We must work quickly. The first fracture is small, but others will follow. each larger than the last. Olivia studied the map. The closest location is in Europe, Stonehenge. We should head there next. The Queen agreed, but first we need to fully activate this node. She pointed to several control panels surrounding the central crystal. It requires specific sequences working together. They initiated the Egyptian node following instructions provided by the Guardian system as they completed the sequence. The crystal stabilized its pulsing, becoming steady and strong. The holographic map showed the Great Pyramid glowing brightly. 1 point in the network now fully operational. 1 down, 6 to go. Olivia said. Vieira nodded. But we need more than just the 2 of us to reach all sites in time. She activated a communication device. My commanders, I am issuing new orders. The invasion of Earth is suspended immediately. Olivia could hear protests from the Zendari commanders on the other end, but Vieira silenced them with a sharp command. I speak with the authority of the Queen. This is not open to debate. Prepare 7 teams each with our best scientists and engineers. They will rendezvous with human counterparts at coordinates I will provide. Turning to Olivia, she continued, Your admiral will coordinate the human teams each. Site must be activated by representatives of both species working in concert. Olivia nodded, beginning to see the magnitude of the cooperation required after generations of isolation from each other, and now days of open warfare. Humans and Zendari would need to form an alliance immediately to face this new threat. Aboard the Zendari command ship, Commander Shyla received the Queen's orders with disbelief. The High Council will view this as treason, she warned over the secure channel. Vieira replied, her voice firm. Then let them. I have seen the evidence with my own eyes. The Devourers are real and they threaten all worlds, including Zendari Prime. Inform the Council if you wish, but first dispatch the teams as ordered. Every moment we delay puts both our peoples at greater risk. Shala hesitated, then bowed her head. It shall be done, my Queen. The lunar base Admiral Rhodes faced similar resistance from Earth military commands worldwide. The idea of cooperating with the invaders was met with skepticism and outrage. But the data from the pyramid site was undeniable. Something was breaking through into Earth's reality, something that predated both human and Zendari civilizations. We have 7 expert teams assembling now, Rhodes informed Olivia via secured channel. They will rendezvous with the Zendari at the designated coordinates. God help us all if this doesn't work. Olivia and Vieira boarded the scout ship to head for Stonehenge. Olivia looked back at the Great Pyramid, now glowing, with subtle blue energy visible only to those who knew to look for it. Do you think we can trust each other enough to make this work? She asked the alien queen. After everything that's happened, Vieira considered the question. Trust is earned, not given, she said. But necessity makes for strange alliances. Our peoples have more in common than either realized, including a shared enemy, and possibly a shared destiny. Olivia nodded as the ship rose into the night sky behind them. The first-dimensional fracture expanded in the upper atmosphere, invisible to human technology, but growing stronger by the hour. The clock was ticking on humanity and the Zendari alike. Finally, here's part 5. Stonehenge stood silent under the cloudy English sky as Olivia and Queen Vieira approached the ancient monument. British military forces had established a perimeter but allowed them through following Admiral Rhodes' authorization. The site had been evacuated after reports of strange lights and unexplained phenomena, similar to what had occurred at the Great Pyramid. The stone circle looked so simple compared to the other sites Olivia observed as they walked toward the megalithic structure. Yet the energy readings are nearly as strong as Egypt. Vieira consulted her scanner. Appearances can be deceiving. The majority of this installation lies beneath the surface. These standing stones are merely markers for what exists below. They reached the center of the stone circle where Vieira activated her device, revealing hidden symbols carved into the weathered surfaces. The Queen placed her hand on the central altar, Stone Olivia joining her on the opposite side. Together, they pressed specific sequences shown by the revealed markings. The ground beneath them shuddered, then began to sink downward, the entire central portion of Stonehenge descending like an elevator into a vast chamber below ground level. Unlike the pyramid complex, this chamber was technological in appearance, with crystalline structures and metallic components forming a complex array around a central pillar of blue energy. This site appears to be a stabilization node, Vieira explained, reading the Guardian symbols. It reinforces the dimensional barriers in this region. They activated the Stonehenge node following the procedure they had established at the pyramid, the crystal array humming, with power as it came fully online on the holographic map that appeared. The European site glowed bright blue, connecting with the Egyptian node. Simultaneous reports from around the world confirmed progress at other sites. Chinese authorities working with Zendari scientists had accessed a hidden chamber beneath an ancient temple in the mountains. A combined Australian human Zendari team had found a similar installation near Uluru. The indigenous sacred site Admiral Rhodes' voice came through. Olivia's communicator, the Pacific site, is active, Captain Bennett, that makes 4 nodes operational. 3 remaining, Olivia acknowledged just as Vera's commander reported. The dimensional fractures are multiplying, my queen. Our sensors detect 3 major breaches forming in the Earth's atmosphere. The largest is directly above the final site. Vera noted, studying the data, Easter Island in the South Pacific. It's the linchpin of the entire network. We need to get there immediately. Olivia said. The Queen nodded to her communication device commander, Shayla. Dispatch our fastest transport to our location. We need to reach Easter Island within the hour back at Lunar Base. Admiral Rhodes coordinated the worldwide effort monitoring both the Guardian network activation and the growing dimensional disturbances. The largest now visible even to human instruments as a swirling distortion in the sky above the Pacific.